Hey everybody, welcome back. I want to send a shout out and a thank you to all of my subscribers. Thank you all very much for watching, supporting me. Everyone's been very kind. There's been, just like anywhere, anything, there's always going to be a couple or a few bad apples. There have been a few bad apples along the way. Almost nearly 2 years have been on YouTube, but I've just dealt with them accordingly. I think the bad apples are actually kind of comical for a while. Some of the things they say, the way they act, it actually cracks me up. But after a while, I just have to say enough's enough. I think about two or three people I had to block. It was pretty humorous, just seeing how I got them so angry over practically nothing at all, just their own anger issues. So I just want to give a little life update. I've still been working at my school. In the state of Arizona, things are starting to open back up slowly, not 100%, not 100% back to normal now. I don't know how long it'll take. The kids are at my school, they're scheduled to go back. I've been keeping busy, always something to do. But the kids are scheduled to go back July 27th. That's their official first day of school. I don't know if it's going to happen or not. I guess the superintendent for all the schools in the Arizona state, he says at the very latest, he wants the kids to be back to school in August, and there's some talk, even if that does happen, or if they do come back in the last week of July, there is some talk about possibly splitting the classes up, like having the kids go on opposite days. And maybe if the kids do go to school every day of the week, maybe doing half days, having some kids come in the morning, some kids come in the afternoon, like that. I don't know how that would work, given some of the parents, the kids, the option of still doing the homeschooling. If they're able to do that, they want to do that. Of course, that would cause a lot more work for the teachers to do to make that work. And some people are saying that until who knows when they'll come up with a vaccine. They're talking about possibly January 2021 they'll have a vaccine. Who knows if it'll happen. Some people are saying it may not happen until 2022. And we can't stay in lockdown for that long. I mean, just the country, the economy is just going to crash. We can't let that happen. We got to take the risk. And if people are afraid of it, so be it. They can stay at home if they want to. As far as I can see, I'll get to it in a minute. But there are so many other things that we do like on a daily basis that are risks. So it's just another thing, the way I look at it. Some people are saying it as far as like getting back to normal. Some people are saying that until they have a vaccine, that we're not going to be 100% back to normal, meaning that, the stores aren't going to be full. They're going to set a limit on how many people we let in the stores. The schools, the kids aren't all going to be in school the same day at the same time. Restaurants aren't going to be full, sports, concerts, social gatherings in general, carnivals, parades, festivals, planes aren't going to be full. Now, my mother-in-law actually, it is kind of, I'm not really a big fan of flying anyways. She's not very paranoid, but she did say that she is not going to fly until they have a vaccine for this, and I do agree with that. And, you wonder with all these other medications too, if they come out with this vaccine, are they going to have a shortage of it? Are they even, because like with everything else, ventilators, hospital beds, are they going to have enough of the vaccine solution? That's a big one. Probably not. There's already shortages on so many other meds already. And I haven't really been getting the flu shot the last few years. The flu shot usually makes me sick after I get the shot. For about a week, I just don't feel right. And I still get the flu anyways. Now, the last 3 or 4 years, I've declined it. I haven't gotten the flu shot. So, obviously, I haven't gotten sick from the flu shot, since I haven't been taking it, and I haven't gotten the flu. So, I think that's kind of strange. But they're saying, too, that the flu shot might help with the COVID as well. It might, even though that's not what it's intended for. They said that could help as well if they don't have a vaccine for the COVID, or if there's a shortage of it. If they come up with that, they have a shortage. They're recommending everybody to get their flu shots this upcoming flu season next year. So, it gets. I guess they're working on a vaccine right now, and supposedly they're pretty close. They're saying that it's been I don't know what they've been doing so far, but they said it's working well. I don't know if exactly what they've been doing. Haven't really done my research on that, but it's really it's comical in a way. I really think the pharmaceutical companies they want to keep making their big bucks. The hospitals, the doctors, they want to keep making their big bucks. It's really this just came out, in 2019, and yet next year, just over a year later, they're planning to have a vaccine for this already. I find it very comical. I find it very interesting because cancer has been around forever, and they still do not. For every cancer, there's not like 100. They just have treatment options. I mean, obviously, some cancers. There are some cancer situations like skin cancer. Bam, you just cut it off and you're cured. But it could come back, and you're fine. But yeah, it could come back, or maybe it might have spread. Like melanoma, I think is one of those that normally, by the time you find out you have it, it's spread somewhere else. So even if you cut off the skin, it's still spread. So you still have to go through treatment for that. Some cancers, you just have surgery. You remove that, like if you have lung cancer, maybe in one lung, you remove the one lung, taking it hasn't spread to the other lung or any other parts of the body. So, there are certain cancers that are, curable just like that, throat cancer, doing the surgery, but, there's still no guarantee that it won't come back. And what if it, if it comes back, or it might have spread to another organ? You don't know it yet. So yeah, it seems like with most, they say that with cancer, a lot of them, if they're found early, they're detected early, like breast cancer, it's pretty highly curable. But from what I've seen, from what I found out, it seems like most of the time when people find out they have these cancers, it's already spread to another organ, so it's too late. And it's just, why is it that they are already talking about a vaccine that could, prevent you from getting this another year from now, but yet we have all these, obviously there's things you could do, taking better care of yourself, eating right, not smoking, not drinking, exercising, just keeping your mind, your body healthy in all sorts of ways. So there are things that you can do, but still, what I'm saying is there's no 100% guarantee for cancer prevention. So I really think that the government, they probably could get, cures for all this shit, preventions for all this shit, 100%. But they don't want to spend the money on it. The pharmaceutical companies, they don't want to, be put out of business. Doctors, hospitals, they want to keep making their mucho big bucks. That's just my take on it. Because it just seems like, for the most part, we don't really know much more. With all this advancement in technology, we really don't know that much more about cancer than we did, 10, 15, 20 years ago. It really gets me in a way. And I'm really interested to know how this is going to affect our upcoming election. You wonder if we're even going to have the election in November. Before the election, are they going to delay it? Is everybody just going to vote from home? I don't know how that would work, how you could prove that people are registered voters if they're, all the things that, ID, all the things that come along with that, valid votes, all the validation. I don't know how that would work to keep people from not voting twice, to make sure that people are registered. I really don't know how that would work. And, if they are, all the rallies, what's going to happen with that? Because that's all, rallies draw big crowds, the RNC, the DNC. It's going to be interesting to see how this is all going to work. I wouldn't be surprised if it gets delayed. I know, obviously we've had all this technology for years. And there's got to be some reason that they want us to go in person and vote. I always thought about that. Like, why can't we just vote from home? It would be so easy. But, I think there was issues with validation. That's why, you still have to physically go in somewhere to a location and vote. Because I think to do it electronically, there would be validation issues with that a lot. So with that. And what I lastly want to talk on, I think at this point, we should just everything should be opened up. And if you're paranoid about it, hey, that's your prerogative. That's on you. That's your own problem. That's your own fear. It is a risk. True, it is. But if you're really that worried about it, put on a mask. Those surgical masks are like almost 100% effective. We're on the downfall of this. We're past. We're downhill with this now. We're past the worst. So, I really, and just take your precautions. Use your hand sanitizer, continue to keep your distance, wear a mask. I really don't think that this thing just got blown way out of proportion. And, it is a risk, true, but I'm going to get to it now. There are so many risks that we take and so many other ways of life, some every day. We don't even think about it. Workers, there are some workers that risk their lives every day. A lot of us, if not, I'm pretty sure just about all of you watching Drive, you're taking, I know a friend years ago was making a joke with me because I work too hard for my money. I don't gamble. You can lose money so damn fast. I said, oh no, I'm not a gambler. I said, I just work too hard for my money to gamble away that quickly like that. You're really taking a gamble with that. And he says, well, he's like, you're taking a gamble every day you get behind the wheel of your car. And that is true. You could have all the money in the world. You can be the richest person in the world, the happiest, the healthiest, the smartest, and, you could, any one of us could, it doesn't matter. You're in the wrong place at the wrong time. Every day you get behind the wheel of your car, there is always a risk of being killed or being permanently injured. And it's kind of scary to think about, but hey, it's a reality of driving, and that's a risk that a lot of us take every day. And most people, a lot of people risk their lives every day with their lifestyle, with their habits. A lot of people don't eat right. A lot of people drink. A lot of people smoke. They don't exercise. That's taking a risk of shortening your life. Iron workers, they take risks. That's a dangerous job. A lot of them, iron workers get killed. Construction workers get killed all the time with the machinery. They fall, to their death. Skyscraper worker, window washers don't really get paid a whole lot of money that clean the windows on skyscrapers for a living. No, thank you. Cops, firefighters, electricians, there's a danger of getting electrocuted. I used to drive a forklift for a year and a half. Driving a forklift can be really dangerous. If you don't know what you're doing, if you're not careful enough, you could kill yourself, you could kill somebody else, you could hurt yourself, hurt somebody else. After doing that for a while, I decided I wanted to get away from that. Didn't really feel safe doing that anymore. I saw some people get hurt or almost killed. Thankfully, the people got hurt, but not seriously. But had a few close calls. Not myself, but I saw other people have close calls. There was one girl, you had to wear a seatbelt on those, you're supposed to, and there was one girl, she said thank God that she was wearing a seatbelt, because if she wasn't wearing a seatbelt, she said the seatbelt probably saved her life. There was a pellet that, I don't know, there was not really no way to detect how heavy the pellets were, but this one pellet, I forget what was on it, but it was too heavy, and the girl that was driving the forklift, she lifted the pellet, and the pellet was too heavy, and after we took the forklift down, she had fully extended, and it tipped over, and she said that it's a good thing she was wearing a seatbelt. She said the seatbelt probably saved her life. And you got to think of driving too. You got to think of all the people that drive for a living. They're doing that 8+ hours a day. Truck drivers, FedEx, UPS, all these delivery drivers. Distribution drivers, that deliver food, beverages, contractors that are, driving all the time from job to job. People live in Tornado Alley, that's a risk. People live in Florida in the path of, the typical path of hurricanes, California, earthquakes, forest fires, mudslides, flash floods, you name it. And there's a lot of people, pretty stupid, but there's a lot of people that get behind the wheel of their car, buzzed, drunk, and drive home every day. You know, you see people going out to bars all the time drinking, and they don't have designated drivers. They always say, "Oh, I'm fine," you know. But you know, I just know from experience myself. You know, one drink can alter your awareness, your judgment. That's all it takes. And even if you're within the legal limit, you know, you hurt somebody, you kill somebody, you get into an accident. As far as I know, you know, that's still considered a DUI. You can still get into very serious trouble for that, even if you're within the legal limit. You know, to me, having any amount of alcohol in your system, you know, should be a DUI. I don't even know why they have a legal limit, because I just know from experience, you know, one drink altered my judgment and my awareness. What else was I going to say? But yeah, I mean, you see people going out to bars all the time. They don't have designated drivers, and people always say, "Oh, I'm fine, I've just had a couple." But you know, one thing that somebody told me once is that when you're, especially if you're drunk, when you've been drinking, you're not in the right state of mind to make that determination if you're fine to drive or not. So yeah, you should never drink and drive, even if it's just a couple beers. It's not a good. You're definitely taking the risk there. And yeah, lastly, I wanted to cover. I'm going to be so interested to see it, but I did get the test for the antibodies yesterday. I was sick for like 2 months, from mid-January, late March. That's very unusual for me, and I was coughing constantly. And it's been a bad allergy season out here in Arizona, very bad. We had a very rainy spring and winter, so yeah, this was supposed to be one of the worst allergy seasons Arizona has seen for a while, and I've seen a lot more blooming than I've seen in the past. And I think of all the states, I think they said Arizona is going to have has already had like the worst allergy season. It's going to keep on for a while. I'm not sure what ends out here, but yeah, a lot of people were trying to say that it was just my allergies. Like, no, I know I've had allergies ever since I was a kid. I know my allergies. This is not allergies. And you know, when you have allergies, you blow out your nose, you cough up is clear. This was not clear. This was thick, yellowish, greenish shit. So it was definitely not allergies. I went to urgent care twice. They told me it was a virus just to let it pass. And then I think the third time they were going to let me go, but I had to beg for an antibiotic. I immediately felt a lot better. But the thing is, with this COVID, you know, they didn't give me a diagnosis any time I went. And I think, you know, because of this COVID being a new pandemic, they don't really know what to look for. They don't recognize the symptoms. They said my throat looked pretty bad. Did a strep test, came back negative, and they said that I had fluid behind one of my ears, but, you know, that sounded to me like a sinus infection, but they didn't give me a diagnosis as of a sinus infection. So I think people are having symptoms that they're not recognizing, because this, you know, COVID is a new thing. They're not looking for it either. So I got the antibody test. My wife did have it. She did test negative for the COVID. I think she had it, already passed it, or got over it, but she tested positive for the antibody test. And I got the test yesterday. I'm still waiting the results. Said it could take anywhere from 1 to 3 days. So I'm pretty sure I had it. We'll see. It'll be interesting to see. But I guess if you have built up the antibodies, you're pretty much immune to it. You're more than likely you won't get it again, or if another strain comes around, you're more than likely not to get that new strain. Yeah, it lowers your risk, or I don't know if it eliminates your risk altogether. So yeah, that's my life update for right now. I've got a couple other ideas for videos I'm going to do, maybe over the weekend or maybe before the weekend. I wanted to definitely, I think, yeah, this weekend that Chicago Bulls documentary is going to be wrapping up. So I will definitely talk about that when the last 2 episodes air this Sunday. So once again, thank you all for watching, my friends. You are like family to me. Thank you so much for your support, everything that you've done. And I hope you appreciate everything I've done for you. It's been fun. The last 2 years have been on YouTube. So take care, everybody. Have a good weekend coming up. Comment, like, share, subscribe, and I'll talk to you all real soon. Peace out, everybody. Bye.